Hello students. Today what we are going to do is jump back into the Industrial Revolution, and what we're going to do is do a quick review of some things from last week that you learned, and then we're going to be moving on to new content. So as a quick reminder or a refresher, the Industrial Revolution was when people started doing less work and machines started doing more work all throughout world history, and we're going to talk about why and where. But as just a quick reminder, we had talked already about the age of exploration when people started getting on boats and exploring the rest of the world. We had talked about the Enlightenment and revolutions, and now we're going to be talking about this time period when machines start doing more work than humans, and that hasn't stopped. It has just kept going and going and going. After that, the next unit we'll be getting into is called imperialism, and we'll talk about what that is when we get there. Just as a quick reminder, right up until the late 18th century, European farmers were pretty much using simple tools to produce only what they needed. What will eventually happen is that machines will begin to do more work than actual individual people. And this change occurs, the first place in the world where this change occurs is in the textile industry in England. And so we're going to talk about what that is and why that is. As a quick refresher, textile means cloth, clothing, fabric. So that's the first place where machines start doing more work than humans. An easy way to think about that is a little old lady at home knitting a sweater versus a machine that is making a sweater or could make multiple sweaters at once. Okay. And this whole thing, this whole turning point in history, again, is called the Industrial Revolution. So there are three big causes of industrialization, and we're just going to scratch the surface of that today. One is the agricultural revolution. As a quick reminder, agriculture means food, so there is an increase in food production. Two, we're going to see more people being able to work. So the more a machine can do, that frees up more people to do more work. So we're going to see a growing labor force. And what that means is this. Think about it as in maybe 10 guys used to go out and work in a field. Now, one guy with some sort of farm machinery, whether it be a tractor or something else mechanical, can do the work of 10 men. So those other 9 are going to be part of a new growing labor force looking for things to do. And then the other thing, which just hasn't stopped, is new technology. It seems like every couple of years, something comes along that revolutionizes the way we live. This starts during the Industrial Revolution. All right, just like in class, we're going to skip some of the things we don't need, and we are going to focus today with the rest of this lesson on 4 big inventions. One is the steam engine by James Watt. If there is a heart to the Industrial Revolution, it is James Watt's steam engine. This is kind of what it looked like. And essentially, it's this. They would take steam, whether you heat up wood or coal or whatever, and they would convert that water that gets heated up into steam, and that pressure would push these valves, and that would make this mechanism go. And you could hook up a steam engine to a factory to make the factory parts move. You could hook up the steam engine to a train and make trains move. So the steam engine is going to be the heart of the Industrial Revolution. It's at the center of every other piece of machinery that will go and move and do things. At the heart of it will be the steam engine, and the person who created that is or I shouldn't say created, but the person who perfected it is a guy named James Watt. The next invention will be smelting, and that is basically taking metal like iron and turning it into something more hard and strong like steel. And that person who develops that will be named Adam Darby, and he will be the one who helps make stronger metals that we can get buildings today that are high rises. You get bigger, stronger bridges. You will also get railroads and things like that make infrastructure stronger for people to move around. people will start closing off their fields. Now, this doesn't sound like a big deal compared to the other two inventions that are up there, but this practice of enclosing a field and saying, this is my land, that's your land, this is the land I'm going to use, this will, again, just create the sense of the modern world we live in today. Think about how many fences you see and how many land barriers you see. It's the same idea. And then the last thing we're going to mention is the seed drill. And this is the drill that will help increase food production for people all across the world.